I did 100 fights in the new arena box fight system, and this is what I learned. I had 2 goals going into this. The first one was to see how many arena points I could gain, and the second one was to see if I could win over 2/3 of my matches. I originally thought maybe 3/4, but then I remembered I'm a horrible box fighter. So let's get into it. Once you load in, you get straight into a lobby that seems to have 15 to 16 people, never seems to fill fully to 16, and you're all split into 4 separate rounds. This is a kind of tournament and knockout based round, so to get actually placement, you need to get to the 3rd round, and if you get there, you'll be 4th overall, which will give you some placement points, and then if you come 2nd and 1st, this will give you more placement points, aka more arena points. I've been playing on controller recently, so I just decided to start doing these on controller. Note, that did not last long. And for this fight, it was pretty simple. I just tried to keep his right hand peek as much as possible, trying to keep super basic movement, and this guy just ran out on a left hand peek, enabled me to hit a really easy 170 shot. Once you've won your fight, you have to wait for all of the other fights to finish in that round, so to intimidate my opponent, I just gave him a nice little wave. Clearly my waving was effective because he forgot how to box fight and just ran into my box, and I got the easy elimination. For opponent 3, I had some really nice shots on him, applied some really good pressure, but unfortunately overcommitted and jumped too far where he got all of the piece control above, behind, and below me, so I ended up being eliminated. And this is not the last time I ended up getting eliminated in this exact same manner. This is perfect time to talk about one of the bugs. If you leave before the game ends, you don't gain any arena points, which is very frustrating because you have to sit and wait for everyone else to finish their fights. Honestly, this fight was just funny.
Yeah, I thought that was a guy I played against.
Because we were still in the low point lobbies, you could still see that a lot of these players just ran on left hand peaks, and some of these fights were just very easy. But I was still trying to make as much opportunity as I could to stay on right hand peak and ingrain good muscle memory. Many people here will try to spray you off the start, and this guy did very successfully, but I was clearly the superior box fighter. One of the things you'll notice is when people are on the top of ramps, you should always predict them to flip it over. It's one of the easiest ways to get big damage shots off. For practicing and improving, I tried to use these as realistically as possible. I'm going to come and talk about this a lot later when we get to the higher elo lobbies, but every time I'm taking big shots, like I hit a really nice peanut butter shot here, I'm trying to continually pressure this player as if it was a normal game. I'm not just trying to keep my distance, I'm trying to use this so that it carries over into my own gameplay. This round was also my first victory royale because I'd won 4 rounds in a row, so that was pretty cool. Round 8 was quite uninteresting. Round 9, my movement was really nice to notice I was in a sticky situation and back out, crouch around behind the wall and get that right hand peek before finishing off the opponent. Round 10, I'd hit some really nice shots on him, and one of the things you can do, which a lot of people fail to do in this, is go from underneath. There are still 2 layers that you can go for, so you can go from below and pressure. A lot of times, people don't expect it. I've been working on my nice peanut bar edits and ensuring that I continually take right hand peeks, as you can tell by my movement here, and I hit an absolutely fat 1 pump because of it. Oh! Fight 12, I unfortunately lost, and I really should have won this one because I had all of the piece control, had everything around him, and unfortunately I hit a really poor shot and then jumped in his face rather than keeping my distance. This guy had the best ping in the world, but this is a good time to talk about the actual mechanic to stop you staying alive and just hiding for the entire game. It's actually almost like a Storm Surge tick that once a specific time has run out, you'll start getting tagged by it, 10 damage every single second, because that makes you force into play. However, there's a ton of problems with this that we'll come to a bit later. In fight number 14, I really overcommitted and ran straight in his face. He managed to get a big shot off of me, but this is a real low lesson in just trying to get as much chip damage as possible. I continue to hit him and try to take every single opportunity I can to get shots off on him. Always try to take a right hand peek and take no damage back in return, and manage to pick up the win because of this right hand movement. Fight 15 was just another good example of going down below and surprising your opponent this way. However, this really wouldn't have worked on a good player. Fight number 16 is one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of people don't enjoy box fights, and in particular I don't. The player I was playing against, the entire fight kept 2 tiles away from me at all times and barely made any effort to peek me at all, and if he ever did, it was only through a peanut butter peek, and clearly that didn't make me very happy. This man has never felt the sweet caress of a woman before.
Fucking hell, Reese.
Just to see how this guy's playing.
Oh, you're so funny. He's never felt the sweet caress.
So since he was playing like that, didn't even make any effort to be aggressive at all, I decided to play the meta against him, and I hit him for more damage I knew I had, so all I did was hide in my box and wait for the heal to end up picking him up. This is one of the issues I talked about the ticking damage, is if you've done more damage to your opponent, you just win instantly. Round 17, I absolutely should not have won. In round 19, I took complete advantage of the fact that when this opponent placed his wall and edited it, it was completely weak, so you can still replace it with your pump as long as it's under 45 HP. Then, always notice the movement. I'm continually trying to keep a right hand peek, and in particular did this with the window too, always hugging that far left hand side, and peeking out and then moving back around the left hand side. I completely sucked against this guy and hoped I would bailout pump him. Bailout pump? Oh well. I didn't. I learned from last time, however, so I stayed to spectate the boring last match, and I got my arena points. And this is where the next bug comes in. Notice I end on 360 arena points, yet when it goes back to the lobby, I'm on 380. So despite the fact I came 4th, I still got the 20 arena points for coming 2nd. So there's definitely a weird bug with placement points. Round 20 was a complete bad habit that I've picked up and a lot of others picked up when they just think they have the best piece control, they're going to edit course on them, but they just open a big fat edit in someone's face and eventually get picked up because of it. Remember when I said sometimes you load in with 15 people, not 16? Seems to have 15 to 16 people, never seems to fill fully to 16. Well, in this fight, that missing player didn't spawn for me, so it was an easy win. Just because it's box fight, that doesn't mean you can't take advantage of people leaving slots open for piece control. I may have just ran straight in his box, but I still completely piece controlled him up. I honestly have absolutely no idea what I was doing this round, but I forgot that if I left, I didn't get my arena points, so I got none this time. Absolutely obliterated player 24. Player 25, I hit this beautiful 170 peanut butter jump shot, but notice, when I select my edit, I'm still running to the left as I'm completely hidden this way. A problem that a lot of players do is that they stand way too much in the open when they're confirming their edit and get hit in return. Here's another issue of how players play box fights. You can just see this guy just looking at me. All he wants to do is spray, spray, spray. And of course, I don't cover my top while going from below, and he hits me for a ton. I'm not so sad about this one. This guy's playstyle was very questionable. So that was the end of the first day. I'd played 26 total. I won 20 out of these 26, which is 77%. So definitely winning over 2/3, which was my initial goal. So the start of the next day, game 1, player wasn't there, easy win. Round 28 after that was kind of frustrating because I actually probably should have won this fight, but because Storm started ticking at the exact moment that this guy hit me with the pump, I ended up being knocked out. Honestly, this player just ran at me and I just missed my shots. It's gonna happen. For player 30, I ended up not placing the wall behind me into an angle and was picked up this way. Now at the start of round 31, my controller started bugging out. You can see me failing edits because my edit button and my trigger kept not working at the same time together. This was kind of frustrating, but ended up picking up this victory really nicely by taking a nice big 148 shot through a window. He then traded me back with a nice shot after that. However, I waited for him to pickaxe, opened up so he missed, and hit an easy shot from there on out. And here you can see the issues continue that I was having with my controller. Basically, my edit button, when I was pressing it, it had a short delay on it, which is really weird. So it basically made me click my select button early. So this actually started to get pretty frustrating. Despite that, still won the fight. Some rounds, you just suck. For fight 34, notice how when I saw the opponent got the wall instead of me, I ended up walking backwards and to the left away from it, just to avoid any potential piece control that he can get from me. Then, I hit him with that little cone floor edit, double piece control in, jump in, box controller, tacular special, easy elimination. Round number 35 is a great example of why you don't double pickaxe. Notice after I swing my first pickaxe swing, he starts to run out of me immediately, and this is why I already switched back to my shotgun, prepared for it, hit him with a big shot, and end up cleaning it up very easily. I'll just let you watch this round. He missed that pump shot, by the way. The next 4 rounds, my controller continues to not work over and over again, so after rounds 37 to 40, I decided to switch to keyboard and mouse again. The benefits of learning both. With my mentality and hardware fixed, it was time to start playing on keyboard and mouse, and I got absolutely bullied round 1. Round 42 started with a very interesting spray battle, and then he ended up dropping down. Then since I placed this wall to the left, there's absolutely no way that he could edit out, so he was forced to end up trying to fight me here, which obviously I won. Just note that when an enemy edits and then resets a wall, you can take it with your purple bump at this point, and that's exactly what I took advantage of here. Ended up cleaning up pretty easily from this as well. In this fight, I did a really good job of just continually taking opportunities to take shots on my opponent. He'd hit me pretty hard, but I wasn't just boxing up and healing, I was trying to trade that damage back. If you don't damage them back at all, and this particularly occurs in normal fights, all they're going to do is continually pressure you. You need to take opportunities just to take small little shots where you don't take that damage back in return. Opponent number 45 continually tried to open up on me, so I just never double pickaxed him, as you can see in that first clip. I got a nice little bit of piece control in for another shot, and because I know this guy's tendencies, I don't double pickaxe swing again, get another shot off, and then just predict the shot, get an easy cleanup on him. Reading your opponent is very critical, and this guy just continually opened up on me, and I just expected it every single time. Rounds 46 to 48, I unfortunately forgot to record, but I won the first 2 and then lost the last one. But at 49, I hit him for a ton, so I ramp faced into his box. The way I like to do this is by placing a ramp when I land and then doing a full edit and staying on the far left so that they can't see me. Unfortunately, this time I missed the first edit and I also was just in the open. Either way, I still picked up the elimination, but I executed this a little bit wrong. Hey, round 50, halfway there. This fight was dragging on quite a long time, so I basically just knew I'd hit him for more damage. This is where I started to kind of experiment with how much I could basically just tag them and then just heal off and win a round, which is one of the worst ways to play, but I wanted to figure out how viable it actually is. To stop this video being 30-ish minutes long, I'm going to speedrun the next 20-ish rounds. 51, it kept good distance, but he walked over a cone that was mine, so I got an easy elimination. Please never do this in a box fight. I placed a ramp in this guy's box while pickaxing, and then went around the side because I knew he did it out, which he did. Hit an absolutely beautiful pre-fire on round number 54. I faked using mini so I could get this edit shot off, and then he overcommitted and I got him in a peanut butter angle. Round 56, I got absolutely bullied. 57, I was really patient and lured this guy into a right-hand peek, which I won. I will happily purchase Kovacs for opponent number 58. I nearly clutched up this fight with a huge AR spray to above me, but it wasn't enough. Not only should I purchase Kovacs for number 58, I should purchase it for myself, for my terrible aim in round 60. I should have lost this one, but I didn't, and that's what matters. Playing Raider 464's practice map clearly pays off sometimes. Opponent 63 hid for me the whole round, despite the fact that I'd done more damage than him. I wanted to torment my next 2 opponents, so I hit them for more damage and hid for them and made them pressure me and picked up 2 easy eliminations. Then, the next player decided to run at me on the left hand peak and hit him with a fat shot. Round 67, I hit this guy for 24 and he hit me for 25. At this point, you're probably seeing me exploit the huge flaw in this game plan, which is when you hit someone for more damage, you can just hide and do nothing, which makes these rounds extremely boring and not very competitive. He also hit me for 1 more damage than I hit him, so it was completely RNG who won this round. I got bullied. In round 69, this is one of the reasons why box fighting really just isn't that enjoyable. And it's not like learning peanut butter peaks isn't useful for in-game, because it definitely is, but just the sheer volume of amount of times once you get to a higher elo lobby, players are just sitting behind a peanut butter, doing absolutely nothing and waiting for you to make a mistake, then they hit a shot, and then if you get anywhere close to them, they just run away. It's actually incredible how many players do this. Once you get to high elo, it's just not that fun. Round 70, I started sliding ramps into people's boxes while I was taking the wall, like I did right here, and managed to get a nice easy shot off after as well. This is something you can do every single time you're taking a wall if you see an opponent always has a space in his box. The second time, I took the wall at the same time as doing this with the ramp, did the double edit, and picked up a very, very nice elimination because of it. This is definitely something you should have in your muscle memory. I was 44 HP, and this opponent missed every single shot. Opponent 72 didn't learn the first time when he opened on my face and I hit him for a big shot, so I did it again and picked up an easy elimination. Remember, players usually do the same thing over and over again, so it's good to read their playstyle. For player 73, I got clipped and put in the tires so hard, and I wouldn't be surprised if I was not in the thumbnail for this one. I really should not have lost this one because I'd already done about 180 damage to him and he'd hit me 30. However, I did lose it because I overcommitted. I didn't record 75 and 76, but I'm sure they were great. And this is what it's like to overcommit from your opponent's side. You can see my opponent has damaged me a ton, but he runs into my box when I have a right hand peek and I managed to pick up this big elimination because of this. You do not want to just run into your box when you have poor peaks, especially if you don't have that heal advantage. 78 is just another good example of opening up on players when they're pickaxing you. This leaves them so far open, and did it twice in a row to the same guy. I managed to win against him in just 2 shots. I saw there was an empty space for a wall to be placed, so I managed to nab that so this guy couldn't escape from this box. So then it was a pretty easy case of just making sure I kept the right hand peek and not overcommitting. A lot of the players in this position just run out of you, so it's very important that I was slow and careful to ensure to take good right hand peeks. Round number 80 was just peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter. Look at what this guy does when I even try to take his wall. He places a ramp over his head and runs to keep his distance. This guy never went closer than 2 tiles to me. He ended up just winning on heal off, and honestly the only thing I practiced this game was my mentality to stay playing for the next 20 rounds. Round 81, I said, you know what, I'm going to win by heal off. Round 82, the guy was just hiding and pumped me. Round 83 was exactly the same as round 80, where he just kept his distance, didn't do anything, and even after hitting me for over 150, didn't push me or make an aggressive play. Round 84, I missed every shot. Round 85, he opened in my face and one pumped me. And round 86, well, here's my note. So, after that, I think that was enough for the second day, so I called it quits there and came back better the next day. I started off day 3, which was round 87, in the same way I started off on day 1. Completely aim dueling the first guy and then waving to my next opponent to intimidate him. Clearly the waving worked because I was able to clean him up. Just a note about this position, that when you're on against a wall and another person's on a peanut butter peak, the person on the wall always has the better angle. So if you're on a peanut butter peak at this angle, note, you're at a disadvantage. Player 89 got absolutely put in the Taj. Round 90 ended up dragging on for a long time, but we both ran out of materials, and rather than just sitting behind peanut butter peaks, although this guy didn't make a good play, I appreciate him for not just sitting behind a peanut butter peak. Coming to the last 10 rounds, I really wanted to try and show what I'd learned and apply that into this gameplay. That's exactly what I did in this first clip. Previously, I lost because I jumped too far in the player's face. This time, once I did the Mongol Classic, I kept my distance and jumped to the back and managed to pick up the easy elimination. I continued that trend going into round 92, where this guy was probably the most predictable player I've ever played against in my life. Despite the fact I missed a ton of shots to start with, which was a trend, I just again predicted this guy to open up, and he consistently did that, which led to a very easy elimination. Player 93 literally sat on this peanut butter peak for 43 seconds. Fortunately, number 94, I missed all my shots and then also missed this edit, so you know what, you can't win them all. I'm just going to let round 95 just play out. Since I've been complaining about people just sitting behind peanut bars, I decided to make sure that was not me for this round. So even though I hit a really large peanut bar shot, I then did what other people don't do, and I actually applied the pressure and managed to pick up the elimination this way, rather than just camping behind my peanut bar peak the entire game. Throughout all of these rounds, I've been doing a really good job of not double pickaxe swinging, yet in one of the final rounds, I clearly messed that up, and this guy ends up just running straight at me and picking me up. So it's round 98, I'm queuing in to the arena playlist again, and I want to pick up the victory royale in that final one. Yes, it'll put me over the 100 rounds, but I still want to pick up the victory royale in my final one. The round starts off well with a really nice ramp place and wall take at the same time, followed by a 140 pump. And again, I'm very careful not to overextend on this right hand peak. I put everything I knew into this round 99 and won with a heal off, like a true champion. For the final big round 100, I knew I had to play this slowly, and after a big damage tag, I knew that I could win this on heal off if I needed to. Because I'd done more damage to him, he got very aggressive, went into my box, and I picked up the victory for this round 100. Time for round 101, the bonus round, and this player was incredibly aggressive. I think it was fantastic that the final player I played was a guy who played at like a very high level skilled box fighter, not playing like a bitch, not hiding behind peanut butter, but he was continually aggressive yet safe at the same time. I didn't end up losing this, but I didn't feel bad about it at all because this guy played really well. He was very aggressive, was continually taking walls from me and just continually pressuring me over and over again, and I just looked lost in all honesty. So, after 101 rounds, how did I do with my goals? Well, I originally set out to see how many arena points I could gain, and I got 1,390. I do absolutely love that this is a separate ranking system and a separate arena system, so if they were to return this with zone wars or with realistics, I would 100% play a lot of this though. And my other goal was to win 2/3 of my matches, and I won 67 out of the 100, maybe you count the 102, so I've just managed to beat that goal, so I'm happy there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a lot. I've been Reisshub, peace!